Next item.
D, approval of the March 30th, 2022 meeting minutes.
Motion.
So move.
You do. Turn your mic on, please.
Second.
Been properly moved and second that we approve the March 30th meeting. Questions on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Those opposed, the motion carries. Next item, Madam Clerk.
D, unfinished business. There is none listed. Item 1, under new business, communication from Samaya Harb, Director of Administration, Sheriff's Office, forwarding a report on Sheriff's Office county vehicle use.
So this is the Samaya Harp Show, according to our prosecutor's rep.
Good morning, Sumaya Harb, Director of Administration for the Sheriff's Office. Through the chair, may I take numbers 1 through 7, go over all the reports, and if there are any questions, please let me know. Is that okay? Okay, first report is in accordance with Chapter 33, the county vehicle use. This is a report about the vehicles that the sheriff's owns. We have 252 motorized vehicles, 8 of which are out of service. And just to let you know, we are having all 8 for auction May 14th. They'll be auctioned off. We do have 15 motorcycles. We have 18 trailers. We have 2 simulators. We have 3 ATVs. We have 3 command posts. And we have 12 vessels, boats for the Marine unit.
Can I please ask you to go over that again, please?
Absolutely.
But how many now?
In total,
No, you just quoted the amount.
252 motorized vehicles.
252, okay.
Yes.
All right.
And cars and trucks are 191, and the rest are either motorcycles, boats, vessels, trailers, or simulators.
All total, you have 252.
Yes, motorized vehicles, yes. And I did say that we have 8 out of service, 8 vehicles that are out of service, that they'll be auctioned off May 14th. For fiscal year 2022, so far, the Sheriff's Office has spent $102,000 in repair and maintenance. As of March 31st, we've spent $131,857 in fuel, and we are expecting to increase that cost because prices went up almost to $4. So we probably go back to Ways and Means to do a budget adjustment to cover our costs from now till September 30th for the fuel. Are there any questions? Moving to the next report, which is the Marine Unit. This report was due April 1st. The Wayne County Sheriff's Office is responsible for patrolling all waters in the County of Wayne, which includes Lake St. Clair, the river, the Detroit River, and Lake Erie and Belleville Lake. All Marine Unit officers are trained in the operation powerboats for patrol and rescue and accident investigations. Right now, we do have 4 seasonal officers that will start May 2nd till September 30th to cover the holidays. They'll go into the business unit so they can do their patrols. The list of reports, whether it's vessel crash, it does compare what we had in 2021 versus what we've had so far as of March 31st. We started back in training boating safety issues with students. The only thing we have not done so far is go back to the schools and provide safety on the water lessons because of the pandemic, and schools are not allowing us to go back in there. We do receive grants for the Marine Unit. We received $73,850 Yeah, for 2021, the grant agreement for 2022 did not come out yet. It'll be retroactive. We should have it in May, almost late May, for both the federal portion of it and for the state portion of it.
Basham?
Not retro yet.
No, but it's Marine.
You know. Oh, and
Okay, next.
just to let you know too, I did send through Joe an update concerning the Marine unit for the dock, for the seawall that's being repaired. We sent out an IFB, I want to say last week, April 6th, and we will have the responses by May 9th. And for the triple wide trailer, that's going to be the offices, that will go out in May. So hopefully, I know it's slow, but better late than never. We're hoping to get the whole project done by next year.
By when?
Next year, in 2023.
Next item.
Next item is the Narcotics Unit. The Narcotics Unit seized for last year 861 vehicles. This year, as of March 31st, they seized 346 vehicles. We right now have only one person who is budgeted out of the Narcotics Unit.
Wait, how many vehicles did you say you have for the narcotics?
Last year, 861 vehicles that we seized. This year, so far, 346.
Oh, that you seized?
Seized,
Okay.
yes.
Going, okay. All right, so you seized 861.
Yes. Last year,
That was last year. And how many have we seized this year?
346 so far. We do have only one person budgeted out of the Narcotics Unit, but we do have, anytime they have to go and patrol and do a surprise, help me out. Any kind of patrols on the streets, they would ask people to go on overtime.
Okay, so when we seize these vehicles,
Mhm.
are they able to bond them out, or
Yes, if they choose to, yes.
they can pay a fine?
They have to pay a fine. They pay $900 if they're first offenders, and then it goes up from there if they're second offenders. And anything we do with the seized vehicles, we go through the prosecutor's office so that the prosecutor's office get a portion of that money. We get the second portion. But it goes through the prosecutor's office to make sure that we're doing things right, and they will look into it and allow either the person to go ahead and take his car or her car.
And then, if they don't, if they decide not to,
Then we auction it off.
you auction them off.
Yes, ma'am.
How often do you have these auctions?
Sometimes it depends on how many cars we have, either twice a year or once a year.
Commissioner Basham?
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's really interesting to ride with the sheriff's undercover and see how that all happens. It's a regular tow company that tows them, and they pay the fine. That's the penalty. Because it was explained to me, if they actually, the person caught doing the undercovers, breaking the law, doing that, usually the fine is the punishment. They don't actually, some counties, they have the resources. We don't have them to actually put them in a van and then process the paperwork and then put them in jail. This actually is basically, the penalty is the first offense is just under 1,000. And then the second offense is double that. And it's amazing how many people come back and you see them the next month, the same thing, the same area, the same van, and it's be $2,000. And so it's a price you pay for breaking the law and doing what you shouldn't be doing. And, but they're lucky that they don't actually get thrown in jail on top of it. But so it's a regular tow company that does it, and they do a pretty good job.
So are there cases where you will not allow them to get those cars back?
No, we always allow them the opportunity to take their cars back. A lot of them just would rather pay the double penalty and then take it. And a lot of them, they don't want their wives to know or their partners to know that they did what they did. So they just leave the car and never claim it. And they just say it got lost or stolen. So they never claim the car, so they don't have to pay for it. We've had those issues. Sorry. Okay, next is our phone report, the phone earning report. We do provide our inmates with phone ability. And the new vendor that we have is Telmate. It's been the Telmate's been with us since April of 2018. The vendor did provide tablets that the inmates can use. They can make phone calls. They can play video games on it. But of course, everything costs money. They can FaceTime their family. But again, these are privileges that we have for the inmates. So if they break the law or they do something that they're not supposed to, those tablets are taken away from them. Last year, we had $1.3 million in revenue from inmate phones. This year, and then we spent $1.6 million, 1.06 in expenditures. This year, as of March 31st, we've earned $531,000 and we spent $483.
Sorry, you kind of faded out when you
sorry.
gave those numbers.
I'm sorry, in 2022, we've received $531,000 in revenue and we spent $483,000 in expenditures. And the good things about the charges for if there's something as a good thing to charge the inmates for phones is that we can provide them extra services. We provide them domestic violence transition program. We provide them with AA program, GED program. All those are free of charge for them. We provide them with sewing program. We provide them with ministry services. For those who are indigent, we provide them with indigent haircuts. We provide them with indigent phone calls. We provide them with indigent kits if they need to. So all that money that we receive is never ever put in general fund. It is turned back to the inmates, to the benefit of inmates. We buy them basketballs, checkers, televisions, microwave. We give them access to LexisNexis, the library, so they can research their whatever a new law is in place or old laws. We also, from that money that we receive, we do pay for our residential treatment. Commission full board approved 4 of the 5s that are coming up for residential treatment. And we also have 9 FTEs that provides inmate programs. And we also, from that money, we'll also pay for our PREA director, which is a prison elimination.
So they are able to do FaceTime.
On the tablets, yes.
Does that cut down on the visitation?
Right now, during the pandemic, we have not.
Oh, there
had
is no
many-
visitation?
No, no.
Oh, okay.
That's why.
So this is instead of
Yes.
the visitation?
Yes.
Okay.
A lot of people, if they're in Michigan and their family is out of town, they would rather do the face
Oh,
to face
absolutely.
as opposed to drive and park and then go visit them in person.
That's good. Okay.
Any questions?
Even after the pandemic, you might want to, this might be something you might want to continue because it's easy on the family not having to go through all that they have to go through to get checked in there to see that inmate.
Absolutely. It's going to continue. Once we receive the tablets are not going to be taken away. It just, when there's an infraction by the inmate is when we take them away from them. Yes.
Okay, next item.
And next item is the PREA. This is the Prison Rape Elimination Act. We are mandated by the state to make sure we have first zero tolerance for sexual assault and harassment. We have to make sure that we review every allegation of inmate, whether it's a non-consensual sexual act, whether it's by other inmates or by officers. We get a slew of them, and we have internal affairs who are mandated to go in and make sure they investigate it and make sure that there's no but there's nothing did happen. And that's when this report goes also to the state. So every time we put that an allegation was made by the inmate, we have to put it on this report. And then after we investigate it, it's either unfounded or it's continuation from prior year. So we're constantly, this report is very fluid. We're constantly changing this report. We do have part of the state rules and regulations is that we have to contract with Avalon Healing Center, which came to this honorable body, and you guys approved it, to provide any victims, whether they're in the jail or outside the jail. Even when they go out the jail, they can also reach out to Avalon Healing Center and they can provide them with services free of charge. And pre-pandemic, the staff from Avalon, previously used to be called SAFE, they come to the jail and talk to the inmates, whether it's an incident that happened in a jail or incident that happened when they were little, they would talk to them about that. But because of the pandemic, Avalon has not sent us any of their staff, but they're looking forward to starting hopefully soon.
Next item.
Next item is for the road patrol. Road patrol consists of two different business units. One is the Municipal Support Enforcement Unit, MSCU, and the other one is secondary roads. Secondary roads is a grant that we receive every single year. We are allowed to go into certain areas in the secondary roads. We can go into Hamtramck, Highland Park, Garden City, Inkster, Romulus, Ecorse, Detroit, on certain roads, not every road, Westland. And then secondary roads can work in any township within the county without an agreement. We have agreements with the other cities that I listed. After today, because yesterday, full board did approve City of Wayne. I'll add City of Wayne on for both the secondary roads and for MSCU. For MSCU, we do have contract with the listed entities, listed communities from Melvindale and Allen Park all the way to Romulus, Lincoln Park, and I will add City of Wayne. They provide great service with the communities that we have contracts with. We can get a portion of their revenue when we write a citation. Almost all of them are 50% for the city and 50% for us.
Next item.
Next item is a tether program. I really tried to bring in the lieutenant that oversees the tether program so she can show you the different tethers that we have that we put on our inmates. Hopefully we can schedule that for a different time. The tether program is a great program that helps inmates get out of the jail and be monitored when they go home. Last year, in 2021, at the height of the pandemic, we had 1,764 inmates or participants on tether. And as of March 31st, that number is dwindling down a little bit. So we're at 1,678 participants on tether. I was going to say about this.
So there are three different types of tethers, right?
Well, we have two vendors right now. One vendor, we did not renew their contract. There's three different types of tether with one vendor, which is United Monitoring, that was approved by this body. And then house arrest is on this agenda, and house arrest only has one kind of tether unit that we use.
Don't you also have one for like alcohol?
Yes, but that's with the United Monitoring, not with the house arrest. So in total, we have 4 different kinds of tether units that we use on the inmates. And in talking to the lieutenant yesterday, he indicated that the courts are not up to where they need to be with reviewing cases, and so that's why we have to put those inmates on tether, because their cases have not been heard and no decision has been made from the court whether or not to send them to jail or do something else with them. So they're so behind in reviewing court documents or in cases that was the main increase in our
Would be
number of
unfair to
tenants.
the inmate to have
Yeah.
to stay there all that time.
Yes, we don't want them to stay in the jail because if
They
we.
haven't been found guilty of anything.
Yes, that's the main focus. So hopefully now that the courts are open, the docket will start moving a little bit faster and this number will start dwindling down to a point where we were pre-pandemic, which about 600. We used to be at 600. And this is the end of the reports, I think.
So to my commission members, do you have any questions on any of these items? No? Okay, can I get a motion to receive and file 1 through 7?
So move.
Been properly moved by Commissioner Basham, supported by Commissioner Knizek. Are there questions on the motion?
Aye.
Carries. Next item. Item number 8.
Item 8, requesting commission approval of a 1-year memorandum of understanding with the Wayne County Sheriff's Office and Third Circuit Court.
Through the chair, Sumaya Harp again. This is a grant, this is the Raise the Age grant that we received from Third Circuit Court. I know you've seen the budget adjustments that went through yesterday through full board. There's quite a few of them. I'm just here to speak about the Sheriff's Office portion of it. The MOU, it does require us to hire 3 additional sheriff deputies to ensure the safety and security in the courtrooms during the trials and the preliminary hearings due to the anticipated increases in the juvenile population. We were not able to hire 3 additional deputies. What we did is we took 3 existing deputies and we make sure that each and every one of them is in one of the courts. There's 3 courts, the juvenile courts. There's 3 deputies that do stay at those courts to make sure that the juvenile is secured and the court is secured and the judges are secured. So we are doing our part in order, and then our part is $364,177. That's our portion for this fiscal year from October 1st to September 30th. If they allow us to have another MOU next year, we'll also bring it to your attention as well. This is retro, but just to let you know, we did receive it from the Third Circuit Court, I want to say back in March. And as soon as we received it, we signed it and brought it to you for your approval, for your review and approval.
So are there any questions on item number 8? Okay, can I get a motion on it?
Support.
Thank you.
Oh, it's been properly moved by Commissioner Knizek, supported by Commissioner Basham. No questions on the motion? This is a motion to approve. So all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
As a matter of fact, are we doing roll call or are we doing? Roll call. Can you, Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Commissioner Knizek. Commissioner Basham.
Aye.
Chair Clark Coleman.
Aye. The motion carries. Next item.
Item 9, requesting commission approval of Amendment 1 to a sub-recipient award with Research Triangle Institute, DBA RTI International.
Morning, Madam Chair. Tony Guerrero, Chief of Legislation, Grants, and Community Relations for the Prosecutor's Office.
Morning, Tony.
Good morning again. Item number 9 is simply an extension for 3 months of the award, sub-recipient award. This is specifically to test DNA evidence in unsolved Detroit homicide cases. There's no additional money. It's $50,000. And really all that's occurring is we're asking to extend the period from June 30th of this year to September 30th of this year. And the funds are coming from a sexual assault kit initiative grant that was in the original amount of $6,600,000. I had to come forward so it wouldn't be just the Samaya Harb show.
I know. So now it's a Tony show. Okay, can I get a motion on item number 9?
So move.
Properly moved by Commissioner Basham, supported by Commissioner Knizik. There are no questions on the motion. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Knizik? Commissioner Basham?
Yes.
Chair Clark Coleman?
Yes, the motion carries. Next item.
Item 10, requesting commission approval of Amendment 1 to a 9-year lease agreement with Jaguar Properties LLC.
Morning, Madam Chair and Commissioners. Jennifer Caruso, Clinical Services Division Director, HHVS. I am presenting a 1-year extension on a current lease we have with Lincoln Park Probation Office through Jaguar Properties. This property is in one of our highest crime rate areas, and it houses MDOC staff and also has drug testing available for the probationers that are mandated to test at this location. We requested a 1-year extension to allow the county time to explore possible locations for a smaller footprint. This office has 16,000 square feet available. As you guys all know, staffing looks different throughout this pandemic and after. So right now, Michigan, the state of Michigan is proposing that all of its staff return to a hybrid approach. However, we don't know what the future looks like for that. So we wanted time to explore selecting a possible location to save the county money.
Are you currently looking for additional space?
Not at this
Or
time,
you just,
but during
doing
this
a wait
1
and
year.
see?
Yeah, during this 1 year, Buildings is going to start seeking a possible alternative location for this office.
So in other words, you have too much space right now.
Yeah, it's a very large footprint.
Are there questions on this item? Commissioner Knizik.
Morning.
Morning.
So a 9-year lease agreement, when did that start? How many options for a 1-year renew were attached to that? And how many years into those 1-year renewals are we?
One moment, I'm going to bring Nellie Lee
I'm
up,
sorry,
who's
yeah.
with legal.
Of course,
I apologize.
nothing to apologize for.
Excuse me, Nellie Lee, Assistant Corporation Counsel. Commissioner Knizik, the 9-year lease began on May 1st, 2013. And there are 4 1-year options to renew. And this is geez, I was just working on another lease that had the options to renew. There is no, this is the final option to renew. It was a 9-year lease with 1-year option. Yes. My apologies. Thank you.
This is your final option to renew. Did I hear you say this is your final option to renew?
Yes, and that's
So-
the new expiration date will be April 30th, 2023.
Okay, all right. Well, I would imagine that you guys better start looking.
Correct.
Okay, all right, thank you very much. Are there any questions on this motion? On this item?
So move.
Properly moved by Commissioner Knizik,
My name's Basham.
Oh, did you make the motion? I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, it's been properly moved by Commissioner Basham and supported by Commissioner Kenizik. Okay. Okay. So Madam, hearing that there are no other questions on this, Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Kenizik? Commissioner Basham?
Yes.
Chair Clark Coleman?
Yes. The motion carries. Thank you. Next item, Madam Clerk.
Moving to the addenda, item 11, requesting commission approval of retroactive amendment 2 to a 3-year contract with a 1-year option to renew with house arrest services.
Good morning again. This is Sumaya, Director of Administration at the Sheriff's Office. This is a retroactive request for your approval to extend the house arrest contract for 2 more years. It is retro because when we put the budget last year together for Ways and Means and for the full board to approve it, we did not project that we're going to need that much money for the tether. We were hoping the number of participants to go down. Our budget for this year for that line item was $1.9 million. And because of the increased number of participants, it increased about 200%, a little bit over 200%. We needed more money. So for the past 3 to 4 months, I've been working with management and budget to identify the funding source so we can fund this modification. So that's why this is retro. It was not anything that the vendor did or we did. It was just trying to find the funding source for it. We are requesting your approval to extend this modification for 2 more years until March 20th, 2024. And we do plan on sending out or posting a request for proposal the minute we move into the new CJC, because the vendors will have to get to know the infrastructure that we have at the new jail as opposed to what we have right now, and then submit bids in accordance to that.
Will all those contracts expire or be voided?
We have 90 days. Yes.
When they move into the new building?
Not automatically. We have to send them letters. Some of them, we have to send them notification within 60 days, 90 days, depends on the contract. But yes, we plan on terminating the existing contracts once we have new vendors that enter into contracts. So there's going to be a time where we are in a new CJC, but we have those contracts going until we have new contracts, because this is a great service that we can't do without. The same thing with food service, commissary, they have to continue until we have new contracts.
Commissioner Basham.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. We've done a lot on the commission to try to eliminate retroactive contracts. And also, there is a mechanism that you can do for exigent approval. And yet we still continue to get more and more retroactive contracts. So, every time there's a retro, I'm going to question it, or sole source.
You're absolutely right, and I'm with you on that. Through the chair, we were not able to request exigent approval because in order for us to request exigent approval, and that's why we're working with the CEO on this, I can't just take my contract, transmit a letter and send it to the chair. I have to go through the approval process. And once it gets to management and budget, they stopped it because I had no funds in that line item to move this contract forward.
Can I get a motion on this, please? Get a second, Commissioner Basham.
Reluctance, second. Thank you.
Okay, call the roll, Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Kenizik? Commissioner Basham?
Reluctant, yes.
Chair Clark Coleman?
Yes, the motion carries. Next item.
F, such other matters as may be properly submitted before the committee.
Oh, yes. Thanks for reminding me. Yes, there was an issue that we discussed with the Sheriff's Department about a foundation. And so we had our legal counsel to check into it to see if the county or the commission would have any input into, would have any responsibilities for that foundation. So I'm gonna call on our legal counsel to give you her her opinion as to that foundation. So Felicia?
Good morning, through the chair. As indicated a month or so ago, the sheriff's office advised this committee that it will be creating a police foundation. There were questions by commissioners at that during that committee meeting. And during that committee meeting, I indicated that I would follow up with the sheriff's office to get additional information. I did meet with the sheriff's office a couple of weeks ago to discuss this matter further. During that discussion, and based on some independent research, they are creating a 501c3. That creation of that entity will not require approval of the commission. That's all, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Any, are there any other questions on that issue? No. Next item.
Public comments.
Okay, would you please unmute everyone, either on Zoom or on the telephone?
The lines have been unmuted.
It is time now for public comment for this committee. So if you have any questions or comments, you may make them at this time. So I'm asking for those who are on Zoom or on a telephone, if you have a comment, please make it now. Second call. This is your time for public comment. Your question or concern that you'd like to address, you can make it now. Last call. Public comment. If you have a question or concern regarding this, anything discussed, well, if you'd like to have a question or concern, you may make it at this time. Okay, Madam Clerk, do we have any emails?
No emails.
Okay, hearing none, then Madam Clerk, next item.
Adjournment.
Motion for adjournment.
Board.
Motion, we've had a motion to move and a second. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.